sad.
That there's a live stream or that there was not a live stream?
There was not a live stream.
Yeah. See, this week I am prepared in the event that it's necessary with the authentic Android Buffet appropriate swag.
What's that?
Well, the only way that I could demonstrate the Android Buffet appropriate swag is on the live stream. So I am donning the swag and I am putting up a brief image of the swag on there that can now be seen. So for the first time you get to see the Android Buffet swag on screen.
Is there a link so that we can buy it?
No, it is currently a custom item. So I have not yet found the right store. But I figured people who are watching the live stream deserve some sort of special thing, and everybody else can guess what it was that I showed. Yes.
So you're actively discriminating against those people who cannot join us.
No, I figured at some point I would post a picture of it. But again, suspense. You know, I'm building suspense here. So last week we were unable to have a podcast. Is that what you're
building?
Yeah. Now, officially speaking, I have not started the podcast, so that was sort of a prequel that will go only for the people listening to the live stream, so nobody else knows to be disappointed. So shall we start the actual podcast?
Sure.
With my usual glowing intro. This is the Android Buffet Podcast, episode number 508, recorded Thursday, October 1st, 2020. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Android Buffet Podcast.
Woohoo!
And we once again have the live stream going over at YouTube. It was not there last week with a combination of a Jerry Google outage.
Yeah, because Google, right?
Yes, Google had an outage, and Jerry had an outage.
I did not have an outage.
Are you sure you didn't have an outage?
I think I didn't have an outage.
Okay.
I had a potential outage, but my potential outage did not potentialize. Did it?
I don't know. Did it?
It did not. I was here on time.
Yeah, but you weren't sure if you're going to be.
Right. I had a potential.
Yep. So, what did we talk about last week? Do you remember?
I think it had something to do with Android.
No, that's what we're going to talk about this week.
Oh. We should do that like every week.
Yeah, and occasionally we talk about home automation.
We do?
Yeah, once in a while.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're a cool show.
We are a cool show.
We're hip. We're happening.
We're doing something.
Yep. By the way, for those of you who listen live, at least our loyal listener and watcher, Daryl, did actually see the authentic surprise that I had set up for him. So
nice.
If you listen live... Oh, were you watching?
No.
Okay, so if you watch live on YouTube, you will not get a live video feed, but occasionally I will throw in a visual surprise.
A visual surprise?
Yes.
That
anyway.
sounds illegal.
Yeah. As far as I know, it isn't, but it sounds surprising. So, anyway, it has been yet another week. I was just outside preparing something that I've never done before, a smart sukkah.
Who?
For home. So, on previous years, I have explained to you the tradition of having a sukkah. Should I summarize that again?
Sure. I don't know what a sukkah is.
Okay. So, for 1 week a year, it is traditional to sit outside in a hut with 4 walls, usually, and a roof through which you can see the sky, so not a very effective roof.
Okay.
So this year, it is a smart sukkah. So all of the lighting and other things in the sukkah are actually being controlled by smart devices. So that's what I was outside doing.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm all prepared. So now my lights are being controlled by an outdoor smart plug, which is running Tasmota, the alternate firmware. And we'll be turning them on and off. And can be controlled by my Home Assistant instance.
Wow.
Why not?
I know.
You know, we all need hobbies.
We do.
Yep. I am also taking a few days off to enjoy sitting outside.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Maybe that'll give me some time to handle some of those things I've been meaning to do, like pick a swag store.
Yep.
And vote. I've been putting that off for 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
There's still like a month to go.
Yeah, but my absentee ballot showed up. I need to sit down and fill out the absentee ballot.
Did you request the absentee ballot?
Yes. Why would I not request one? I think I'll be absent.
Cool.
Well, no, I've been hanging around here, and here is not my home district. Therefore, I'm absent.
I fully support absentee ballots.
Yes, many people do. And I am looking forward to casting my vote for whoever I choose to cast it for.
Joe Jorgensen, right?
I don't think he's running in my district.
It's a she.
Is she running in my district?
Yes, she is the Libertarian candidate for the President of the United States.
Oh. I must have missed her at the debate. Did they not invite her? That was so rude.
They did not invite her.
Although on a slightly political note, had they invited her, I don't know if she would have been able to get a word in edgewise. So, anyway, politics aside, let's see. Did anything else of a Home Assistant-y nature happen since I started out?
I would just
talking
like to say that even as a general fan of President Trump,
yeah,
I was extremely disappointed.
My vote is next time when 2 minutes are up, whoever's talking, cut their mic.
I've been seeing that a lot.
Well, the sort of point is, if people, because of the passion of the moment or what have you, cannot stick to the rules that they agreed upon, force them to stick to the rules they agreed upon. I am not talking about the politics because the behavior had nothing to do with politics. It had to do with two people being angry. So if the moderator can't control you, then let the technology. By the way, I'd like that feature at meetings that I have. I'd like to be able to cut people's mics.
I understand.
At least when they won't shut up. But by the way, I've never cut your mic, Jerry. You've always.
I self-cut my.
Yes. But we have always been able to have a conversation even when we are disagreeing.
Yep.
Which I appreciate.
As do I.
So, either way, let's see. Did I do anything home automation-y other than that recently? Well, in order to get Tasmota, which I enjoy using on all these devices, I set up one of my old Raspberry Pis that I retired, and I was using that to flash the firmware, and one device would not flash. So, 3 out of 4 wasn't bad. And we'll see what I do next with flashing, because I find it useful to have those things. Also, my shipment from China arrived with my Sonoff devices. I have the Sonoff button, more of the Sonoff USB things. I have a Zigbee CC2531 USB dongle that cost me $4.
$4?
Yeah. Well, again, shipping's $6.
For a dongle.
Yes, for a Zigbee dongle. And a Sonoff Zigbee bridge, which cost me $15.
That's not bad.
So the Sonoff Zigbee bridge, if I end up going to transport my parents to their Floridian habitat, I'm going to set up a smart home setup down there. So I have a computer that I'm going to, since I'm taking a few days off, one of my projects will be setting up this little mini computer that I bought in Liva to run Home Assistant and to run any other server software I plan on using, to pair it to this little Sonoff Zigbee bridge, which I hope I should be able to flash here. If not, I realized that I left my jumper cables in Queens. I went down for a day and got the absentee ballot and some other equipment. I also have my new air quality sensors that I'm going to try to wire up.
Ooh.
Yeah. All I need is a case.
You know, you asked if I would print an enclosure, and my 3D printer is working, and I absolutely would print an enclosure if someone was to send me any sensors.
You need
I'm
the
just
sensors.
saying.
Well, how about this? If I send you a sensor, will you print me an enclosure and send it to me, and print yourself an enclosure and send it to yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know how much postage will be to mail to myself, but I'll give it a shot.
well, what's that site where they post 3D printer files?
Thingiverse.
Okay, I'm sure somebody has built a Thingiverse thing for this.
Okay.
But what I'm going to try first, I have a pre-made project enclosure box and a pair of snippers. And a drill.
That's probably all you need.
Well, it may not look pretty, but do you need your environmental sensors to look pretty?
You don't need them to, but why not?
Who's looking at them? But I want to see if I can replace the environmental sensor that I put outside of my window that's battery operated.
I'm pretty sure it's scientifically proven that sensors that feel pretty work better.
I'll test that theory personally. But you remember I mentioned that I had put an air quality sensor outside of my window that was radio operated? It keeps dying because it has a battery in it. And for some reason it dies every few weeks, and I haven't been there. So I was thinking it's going to take a little investment, but there is one outdoor outlet that I have. And it is under an awning, so that should protect it from most of the weather things if I don't properly weatherize it. So what I need to do, that particular outlet is used to turn on the, it has a switch on the inside, and it's used to turn on the heating coils for the building's downspout. Do you know what a downspout is? I don't know if they have those.
I think to us, a downspout is the thing that takes water from the gutters to the ground.
Yep. So they do have those in Florida.
Yes. They're normally like, say 2 inches or call it 4 inches by 6 inches.
Okay, so I've lived in the same place for many years, as long as we've been doing this podcast. And I had mentioned to you that my living room, which I've recorded the podcast from consistently, except recently when I've been hiding, happens to be on the ground floor next to the downspout. And the living room has flooded several times. One of the reasons it flooded several years ago was that ice formed, preventing the water from the downspout from going into the sewer, which it goes straight down into the drain.
Right.
It froze over, and then the water pooled outside of my apartment and then flowed into it. That's why I had to get rid of the carpet. Which I think you were there for. Because that was within the last 10 years. No, I remember telling you about this when I emptied the entire room and was recording the podcast with just a folding table and a laptop because the room was being emptied to replace the flooring because of the flood.
Okay.
I think that was
You
the
say so.
I think that was the third flood, or was it the first, the second, or the third flood? I don't remember. But the roofer wired up the downspout with a heating element. So if it goes below freezing outside, I manually go and turn on the heating element, which melts the ice and prevents the accumulation from blocking the drain.
Yay!
Sounds like a good thing, right?
Yes.
It takes up the only outdoor outlet I have.
It's not like a dual outlet. Where did you find a single outlet?
There's a light fixture, so it turns on the light, and the light fixture has an outlet in it, and it's controlled by a light switch inside. So I thought the easiest thing to do was twofold. One, I'm going to get a smart bulb because I want to put one there anyway. It's a par 38, and I rarely turn it on because I have a floodlight on the other side of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that's there is this plug. So I wanted to turn the light on permanently, have a smart plug, the outdoor one that I bought, powering these heating coils, and then automatically turning them on if the temperature outside goes below a certain temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also, if the power is always on, I could also put my temperature sensor there and have it always on and not worry about it losing power.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, and the other one, the one that keeps losing power, I could relocate. But I've been thinking about air quality a lot, and we've been talking for a little while and we haven't gotten to any Android news, but because somebody I know is now posting their air quality in real time online.
Are you jealous?
I thought I'd do it first.
Mm,
Well,
you
it's
didn't.
well, it's sort of this problem. I contribute all my weather data to various public weather sites, but I don't know of a public contribute your portable air quality sensor data to. So I can't brag that my air quality is better than other people's air quality. Because I know everybody sits around talking about their air quality. Although recently, probably a lot if you're in California.
Or Oregon.
Yeah, they got
Or
really bad
Washington.
recently. By the way, the person I know who is posting their air quality in real time is in Oregon. So they have a much better reason than I do in New York. But I just think it would be a fun project, and I like fun projects.
I understand.
Yeah. Also, I got these new air quality sensors. I have to use them for something. So there was some other news. Google had some sort of device event yesterday.
A device event.
Yeah.
Do we have a Pixel 5?
Apparently. I haven't had a chance. There was like a 45-minute to an hour presentation. And I have not had a chance to watch all of it. I did sort of, read one or two articles on it. But before I watched it, I'd already ordered the device that I'd been waiting for. I went to the Best Buy site and ordered the Chromecast with Google TV. Because even though I do have a Roku and I'm reasonably happy with the Roku, how many times have you heard me say that the Chromecast with Google TV, as described, is probably what I want? I said I wanted a Chromecast, and I said I wanted a Chromecast with a remote control. And I said I wanted a halfway decent Android TV device. It sounds like it fits the bill.
Excellent.
So it'll be here tomorrow. So again, taking a few days off, I have all these things that I could be doing. And you know what I predict? Knowing me?
That you will have fun and it will be awesome and you'll love it and you'll want to do something else next.
No, I was going to say that out of the 20 projects that I'd like to do next week, I probably will not get to all of them. That happens every time I plan on doing something. There are probably being lazy occasionally when I take a few days off. All of the projects that I want to do probably will not all come to fruition.
Yes, but will any of them?
No, some of them will.
There you go.
I have a long list of things. I told you I have sensors that I want to build up. I have a computer that I want to build to possibly take to the Sunshine State to run a possible new weather station there. Although I'm under limitations due homeowners associations. My parents have an apartment and they have some sort of odd limitation on what you can put on the balcony. Must be the hurricanes.
No, it's resale value.
No, that I don't want to mount anything to the walls. For some reason, this whole thing about not putting certain things outside.
Oh yeah, hurts the resale value.
How would putting a temperature sensor outside hurt the resale value?
It makes it ugly.
Where can you see it from? They're 20
It's
floors
outside.
up. Who's so
Outside,
what you're
it can be
saying?
seen.
Yeah. So what you're saying is somebody is standing down on the ground with a pair of binoculars or a camera with a zoom lens, taking pictures of the miniature temperature sensor on their balcony. Anyway, I'm preparing this argument for the people who make these decisions in their building. If anybody complains while I'm there, if I actually
So
get
the
there.
question is, at what floor should you have restrictions?
I
Because
think
clearly, lots of crazy stuff on the first floor will create an eyesore.
it's a size issue, not a content issue.
Okay, but how do you regulate size? And is it okay to have one tiny thing? Is it less of an eyesore to have one big thing or 20 little things? At what point do you draw the line?
They
And
also
you can't
want to
have
doorbells.
rules. You can't have rules that are arbitrary, like can't look messy. Well, so sorry,
They also
man.
won't allow doorbells, so nobody knows when somebody's arrived at their door. But that's a whole other conversation with them.
And with cell phones now, that's probably not that big a deal.
Well, it's sort of this continual problem that you can't get into the building because you need a fob to get into the elevator. But once you get up, you don't know anybody's at the door because the knockers don't knock effectively. But logistics. I talked the head of their homeowners association into a Ring peephole cam. If not for the fact that when they drilled the knockers into the door, they drilled too many holes to be covered up if you took the knocker out and replaced it with a peephole cam. Anyway, my annoyance at bureaucracy aside, I'm looking forward to talking about my future Floridian projects. By the way, I will not be stopping by Jacksonville if I pass through your area.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You're welcome to stop by the Sanford train station and wave from a social distance. I don't think that's a trip worth taking, to be honest. Nobody says, I think I'll stop by the Sanford train station. Actually, maybe somebody does. Anyway, so I'm very excited about the Chromecast with Google TV, and I will have something to say about it next week. I hope it is the device that I am imagining it to be.
as am I.
Yep, and I will still have the Roku hooked up because I'm in Spectrum country and they have a Roku app, and they don't have an Android TV app. And I didn't bother to install a cable box because who needs it? Anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you can use a $30 Roku as a cable box, why rent a cable box?
Yep.
Not that I would have, actually. Before they had an app, I never bothered to rent one from them because I'm not here all the time. The only thing this house really has is internet, but you can't get a good deal on internet without cable lately.
Really? Okay.
Well, you look at the pricing. You end up paying $5 for cable. You might as well. Besides, I have family members addicted to the Game Show Network. Anyway, moving from the Chromecast to some other things. Apparently, Amazon introduced some stuff last week, and I had a chance to look at it.
Ooh, and did you think, ooh, it's so round?
A rotating Echo Show. I wanted to ask what you thought about this. Because I don't know what to say about it.
I don't get it, but
It's
that's okay.
a tablet connected to a motorized, essentially ball.
Yep, yep.
That's
I
the
don't
best way to
get it
describe it. And that's just sort of a strange thing.
you
They
attach a
also,
fan to it.
I'm not sure. They also announced
Because an oscillating fan would make sense.
yeah, but what if you didn't want your fan on? For example, I have to turn my fan off every time I do this podcast because it's heard on the audio.
Ah.
And they announced an in-home drone. Do you want the people at Amazon flying a little mini security drone around your house?
That seems cool.
Yeah, it just seems weird.
Yeah, but cool.
Yeah, again, it seems cool. It just, of all the products they could choose to release, that seems like a niche product. Because while I don't think there's anything in my house that I'm necessarily worried about a drone program to fly around when I'm not at home might see, I'd be worried the thing would be flying around and hit me in the face.
I would be worried. It's just a really annoying sound.
How about the Ring is now getting into the car? So as part of this event, they announced a bunch of different Ring things. Now you can get Ring car cams.
Seems to make sense to me.
And back to Google, they announced a replacement for the traditional Google Home, you know, the one that looked like an air freshener,
Yep.
which is the Nest Audio device.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, and the reason I'm mentioning all this hardware is, who's ahead? Is Amazon the company that is at the forefront, or is Google?
I believe it's Amazon.
Probably yes.
Just by market share, not
Yeah.
necessarily by technology or.
Well,
But
Google has a philosophy I like, but Amazon throws a lot of products out there, and a lot of them are very interesting,
it's true.
and a lot of them are junk and will disappear. For example, I got that Dash wand, and then they discontinued it, so now I have a Dash paperweight. Of course, I bought the Dash wand because the cost of the wand was returned to me in the form of an Amazon gift certificate, so I essentially paid nothing for it. So,
You say that. That's not how economics works.
well, I'm saying I would have bought $10 worth of goods at Amazon anyway. So there was no net loss to me for giving them money and getting back something that was of equal value that I would have spent.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to incentivize me to have a Dash wand, which they did. And then one day they said, by the way, that Dash wand that we gave you, it won't work anymore. And it was the only Echo that I still kept. Because every so often I would just press the button and do my Echo thing. Because I moved everything else to Google devices, since I prefer them. So those are all the hardware announcements, but there are actually other things going on. Android 12, the next version of Android, will make installing alternative stores easier.
Yay!
Because apparently the people at Google have realized that they don't have the only store, and if they want to not be accused of anti-competitive behavior, while they never forbid it, they're going to make it easier. If you want to have multiple stores, have multiple stores.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's partially their defense for being accused of charging too much in their existing store. But again, and my favorite Google feature that was announced in the last few days, Hold for Me.
That does sound cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work in practice, but I know that half the time when I'm on hold, I will just put the phone down and go do something else. So why can't Google listen for me and then tell me? The only thing I worry about is then I have to watch the phone. It would be nice if there's an option.
I had that exact same thought. It was great. Now I've got to have the phone visible.
Well, the ideal thing to do would be that the phone rings. So the same way...
Maybe it does.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's still... The feature has been introduced. It hasn't really been widely deployed. But you may have experienced this. Have you ever called a company where they said, we're experiencing a long hold time, you can wait, or you can give us your number, we'll keep your place in line, and we'll ring you when we get to your place?
Yes.
There are a few call centers that do this, but not everybody. So it's sort of that feature. The difference is I don't trust the company to call me back, even if they say
Why?
that's their feature. Why?
It's a computer doing it.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I still don't trust them.
Okay.
I'm still upset about the people at Walmart this week. I ordered a chair. Did I tell you the saga of the chair?
Yes.
Ordered the chair after the other chair broke. Contacted them using their chat. They told me, well, sometimes the chairs just don't ship, and you're not going to get it, so we'll cancel that chair, order it again, we'll give you a coupon, which is where I left off last week. Guess what happened after that?
The chair showed up?
The original chair shipped because they never canceled it, even though they told me to. So I contacted them and explained to them, I don't want 2 chairs. I did what you told me to do. Why is it if I took your advice, I'm going to end up with 2 chairs, one of which I don't want? So they were able to intercept the second chair. And I said, this time, unlike last time, I'd like you to send me in writing that I will not end up stuck with 2 chairs, which they were nice enough to do. So happy ending, I have a chair. And I'm almost certain that another chair will not show up. Almost.
The number of chairs that you shall have is 1.
I have 1 seat. Why do I need to put it in multiple seats? By the way, I'd like to complain about false advertising. Last time I bought a chair that had a rating of 325 pounds, which is well above what I weigh, and it broke. So I bought a chair that Walmart insists has a rating of 600 pounds, and when it arrived, it had a label on it that said maximum weight capacity 400 pounds. Now, 400 pounds is still more than 325 and remains to be significantly higher than I actually weigh. However, why is it that nobody can be honest on their labels? Sorry, sometimes when I'm upset,
Maybe they were honest on the labels, they just weren't honest in their advertising.
Okay. Either way, I'm hoping it doesn't break. I have 1 more week of outdoor holiday celebration before it probably gets too cold for me to use a outdoor camping chair. We'll see what happens. There's always next week. So a lot of interesting things going on. If you are a Maps user, it's getting a dedicated car mode UI if you don't have Android Auto, and dark mode.
Ooh. Didn't it always have dark mode?
No. So they had dark mode in the navigation section, but not dark mode in the regular UI. So remember, you would only see the dark mode if you were using Nav.
Yeah.
So now you can see there's a dark mode for the actual I'm using Google Maps as a regular user, not navigating anywhere feature.
Ooh.
If you use WireGuard's VPN, it now supports Android TV, and they've upgraded their code. Now, this is one of my use cases, again, for the Chromecast with Google TV. I switched from using my Roku in Bulgaria to temporarily using an Amazon TV device because I needed a VPN. Here, Android TV, VPN. So this Chromecast might end up my new traveling device.
Sweet.
Why not? If you use Google Phone, did you switch to Google Phone on your Samsung?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And it is not the same experience as I had on my Pixel, and I'm quite upset about it.
I'm sorry. Well, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be sort of a lacking Pixel exclusives, but I assume it has some of the features that are not exclusive or were formerly exclusive. So they are testing caller ID announcement, which I always find hilarious. I have a cordless phone that does it.
Yes.
And the pronunciation is always amusing. For example, if you called, it would probably say, call from Gier Jones.
That's okay.
I know. But I can't teach it anything. Google could learn. If I was annoyed that Google was announcing you as Gier Jones, I could probably fix it somewhere.
I doubt it.
Actually, if you look in... The feature is technically already there. If you look in your contacts on your phone, let's say I go to my Gier Jones contact. If I remember correctly, there's actually a pronunciation field in here somewhere. Or there used to be. Here we are. Phonetic last name, phonetic middle name, and phonetic first name. So I could put a field into your Google contact that said that Jere is to be pronounced Jerry. And Google could use that information.
But would it?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
I thought I turned that off. Anyway. But I don't know if it'll use it because I've never had caller ID announcement. Admittedly, Google understanding some of the more interesting pronunciations I've tried to give it has been hit or miss. And I've been complaining about this with both Google and Amazon on music, where I have some musical programs that are not in the English language, and I try to get it to play them, and it can't.
I'm sorry to hear that.
By the way, since we do have a live audience, I just noticed that there have been some comments from Daryl.
Uh-oh.
Number one, Comcast computers call you back, then place you on hold.
That's funny.
They then present the offer to call you back again. And he also suggested that the 600 pounds was Canadian. Yeah. I should pay more attention to that chat now that we have it.
That was funny.
Yes. Daryl, we appreciate you. Anyway, if you use the Recorder app, which I have used to do some minor recording with transcripts, they've changed it so that if you want to edit the audio, you could do so from the transcript. So since the transcript comes from voice detection, if you want to cut out words from the transcript, it looks like you can also cut them out from the audio in one UI function.
Huh.
I think that's a cute one.
I agree.
Yeah. And if you use Google Meet, which we don't, which also has transcripting, it is now, they've extended the free option for it till March of 2021.
Just long enough to get people hooked.
Well,
Like dealers, man. Here's a free taste.
see, that should be on a t-shirt.
Here's a free taste?
No. Google is my drug dealer.
Sure.
I feel like I should, not only have the Android Buffet swag store, but the interesting phrases we come up for t-shirts store. So every time we have a conversation and one of us says something witty that we think this should be on a t-shirt, we should have a t-shirt made. When I say made, put up online that anybody could buy, but not actually buy it ourselves. This is the wonder of on-demand printing.
Yeah.
On another note, the other special print order that I got in honor of our new logo, they asked me to approve the proof.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think that they're going to actually start making it and shipping it to me. So you have something to look forward to.
I like it when I have something to look forward to.
Well, we'll see if it arrives before I head to Florida.
Yeah.
If I head to Florida. By the way, that may or may not happen. Apparently, there's some concern about the safety of Florida at the moment.
Safer than Oregon.
But none of us are interested in going to Oregon.
What's unsafe about Florida?
I think it was the fact that it is now not permitted for local municipalities to make their own regulations that could be finable in regards to the current global health crisis.
Y'all are nuts. Okay.
I thought you were for freedom. So this is the state deciding to overrule the opinion of the local municipalities.
I believe you're wrong.
Isn't that the state doing that? Regardless of whether or not you think it's a good thing.
I'm saying that I know that our mayor has extended the mask mandate another 30 days.
Yeah.
And he did it 2 days after DeSantis said open it all up.
But he cannot impose fines.
So
there are no consequences. I don't know. This could result in another group of people staging a protest at Target saying they're not going to take it anymore. Which I think is an interesting place to protest. But that's... Because if you want to affect social change, you really should protest at Target. But anyway. So do you have any exciting plans for the upcoming days of projects that you'd like to get accomplished of a home nature?
I replaced the motherboard in my 3D printer, and I have printed out the case for it. So I'm hoping to get that all together, because right now I have wires going everywhere.
So you've printed a case for your 3D printer with your 3D printer?
Yes.
I just like that. That's a good way to approach the problem. How long before the 3D printers are manufacturing themselves?
Well, there is a project called RepRap, which is the idea is they're self-replicating machines. It's basically 3D printers that are completely 3D printed.
Don't you worry that the 3D printers will gain sentience and decide they don't need us anymore?
Nope.
Although it would make a really good science fiction story. A 3D printer enters somebody's house, gains sentience, decides it does not need its owner anymore, and just starts printing new 3D printers. It could be the next Sci-Fi Channel TV movie.
Could be.
That's about the quality of their movies. Have they stopped doing the ones where every week it's a new random thing that was normally not dangerous becomes dangerous and kills everyone? Or a mythical creature kills everyone?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It was sort of that era of, we're not going to have any real hardcore science fiction. We're just going to have Monster of the Week movies as our original content. Sort of made me stop watching that entire network. So that brings us to the end of the program, unless you have actually got around to watching the Lower Deck show.
I did not.
Okay.
I've been extremely busy with work this week.
Okay. I will tell you, out of the 9 episodes, there was only one that I didn't think was very amusing. Again, cool. It is not... It is essentially a humorous story set in the Star Trek universe by people who clearly like inside Star Trek jokes. So I will continue to endorse it on that basis. If you're expecting it to be hardcore science fiction, it's not. And you could compare it in theory to The Orville, but The Orville is a completely different way of approaching the same thing.
Sure.
But worth watching, especially since the nice thing about cartoons right now is they can be produced without worrying about social distancing problems. Because all of the actors can record their audio in their closets. The people mixing it can do it from their homes. The people doing the animation can do it in their homes. All the assembly can be done digitally. So we can continue to get... this could be a resurgence of radio and animation. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
What I feel is worried.
What, that mediums that don't get enough respect and attention could get it, regardless of the reason?
No, about how scared you are over COVID.
Admittedly, I will just say one thing about it. How does me being worried about COVID change what the movie industry being worried about COVID? If they produced movies, I don't have to go anywhere to watch them. Or if they produce new episodes of television shows, I still don't have to go anywhere to watch them.
No, it's just that I generally consider you a reasonably rational and intelligent individual. So to hear you talk about COVID is
And remember,
concerning.
Yeah, I'll just say that I am not worried in the sense that I am scared to go out of my house because of a disease. I'm scared to go out of my house because of people. But I still leave my house.
You said you didn't want to come to Florida because we're not finding people.
No, I said that I'm worried about people in Florida because of that. I didn't say that I wasn't going to come to Florida. I may very well come to Florida.
No, you started off by saying that y'all are thinking about not coming to Florida because, specifically because of.
No, my parents are thinking of not coming to Florida, and if they don't go, I'm not taking them because my sole purpose in going there is to transport them. I'm the driver. I'm the one who drives the 5 hours to the auto train and then drives the other 5 hours from the auto train. So I'm not going to drive 10 hours for no reason. Me personally, I'm worried about the behavior of some people in Florida, but not everybody in Florida. But I'm worried about the behavior of people in New York, and both people who are behaving in certain ways because of the current pandemic and people who behave those ways when there is not a pandemic. So I'm just worried about people in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm prepared. Since I'm taking a vacation, I'm going to go and see fall foliage. So instead of me going to, let's say, visit a new municipality, like coming to Florida or going to California or going to Disney World, I'm going to go to a town with 617 people. To see trees. Again, a thing you can't do in Florida.
What?
You don't have fall foliage.
Yeah, we do.
Your trees turn colors?
They turn colors and the leaves fall off.
In
Some
Florida?
of the trees. Yes.
Really? Good to know.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Every time
Matter
I'm
of fact,
inside...
I have a lot of oak trees out behind my house, and during the winter, they're bare.
Oh, I forgot. You sort of have a winter.
Yeah, I mean, like all 2 weeks of it.
Okay. I'm just saying that I'm going
I mean, the trees are still green now.
Yeah. Well, here, the trees have started changing colors.
Poor trees.
So I'm going to take a drive to a small town that has nothing in it but a covered wooden bridge and nice foliage.
Cool.
Because
Enjoy.
I'm not going to go anywhere, so I might as well just take a drive and enjoy the scenery.
Yes.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to see a reservoir that I've been mapping it out on Google Maps. I'm going to see a reservoir that feeds New York City. So all of the sites that I can see without really leaving the area. So I don't know if you're driving somewhere, is that a staycation? If you come home at night?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I will tell you next week all about my not going anywhere sleep-wise, but driving around the local area here and enjoying the nice country sights. And you can say, we don't have any of those things in Florida. Do you?
Sometimes. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm looking forward to this week. Projects, fall foliage, maybe take a walk. The one thing I'm not going to do this week that I'm looking very forward to is I'm not going to do any work.
Cool.
Unless it's work for me.
Good.
So, something to look forward to. So hopefully all of you are enjoying some relaxation in the near future. And next week, we will see how successful I am. So by Thursday, I will tell you how many of those projects I mentioned I actually accomplished.
I look forward to it.
Or how many I failed to accomplish because instead I sat in a chair and watched television. Or read a book.
Or maybe both.
Not simultaneously. I got through 10 books last week.
Wow.
Well, I was fasting. I had nothing better to do. Anyway. Until next week.
Till next week. Bye, folks.
Goodbye. Goodbye, live stream people.